Hi, everyone, and welcome to this October AstroHD Energy Update. We are live. This is so exciting. Welcome, welcome. If you're watching live, comment your human design type and authority, your profile, anything else you want to add, your incarnation cross. Comment your sun, moon, and rising and astrology. Let's get this party going. I am so excited for October. Hi, for those of you that are new to my channel, I'm Kelsey Crookshanks, the human design astrologer, on a mission to help you understand astrology and human design so that you can find ease and harmony in your life and in your relationships with others. I am also an intuitive channel and psychic medium, so I use a lot of my intuition and psychic mediumship in my readings and in my energy updates and forecasts and in everything that I do. Everything I do is flavored by my intuitive channel and my psychic mediumship, which is not something I've spoken a lot about, but I'm realizing how much of an important role it plays in what I do and what I share with you guys. So oh my gosh, it's raining outside, and it just like the wind just blew this big gust of like yellow leaves, and it's just so beautiful. And I'm just like so high on life right now from this view and just everything that's happening. I'm so excited for October. September was like, I don't know, just felt like a big energy of reassessment and realignment and reevaluation after everything that happened in August. It was like, boom, we're changing direction. And September was like, okay, let's slow down a little bit and see like where we need to like make just subtle adjustments to our lives so that we can really step into this new direction that we realize we want to make and take and step forward into in August with that big transit we have with Uranus, North Node, and Mars. It's 444 here right now too. So we got synchronicities all around. I am so excited. You guys can probably tell. So excited to be here with you guys today. I love lives so much. They're just so fun. And yeah, I get to interact with you guys in real time. So what I'm going to be doing is giving you guys a little energy update for October based on the lens of astrology and human design. And then I'm going to go into tarot readings for each human design type, which will be really fun. And like I said, we'll be using my intuitive channel and my psychic mediumship to channel messages using tarot as a medium as well. For each type in human design. So yeah, let's get into it. So I'm super excited for October. Like I've already said, like probably 6 times by now. It just feels like a just refreshing month. It feels like I said earlier, we're really starting to step into whatever new direction we wanted to take. And let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb as well so that I don't get distracted and interrupted. So, like I said, in August, we had this big just moment of like change, instability, sudden and unexpected, unusual information. Uranus conjunct the North Node, our destiny, collective path of destiny. Mars as well was in that conjunction. You can go back and watch my videos on that if you want to learn more about that transit and maybe reflect on what was happening for you at that time. It can be really fun to do that. And I really feel like that's what transits are for. They're like to go back and be like, oh, that's why this happened on that day, because this was transiting this and it was impacting my chart in this way. And it can just be so helpful to have that and gain that hindsight. Because sometimes and I've talked about this a lot in my energy updates, because it's like one thing to look at the energy ahead and be like, oh, this is kind of what it's going to look like intellectually, right? And also intuitively. But we really don't know how that's going to play out for us until we're in it. And I have a class if you want to learn how to apply the human design transits to your chart, as well as the astrology ones. I have classes on all of that in my AstroHD membership. So that is like my class library. It's kind of an introduction to the Astrology and Human Design School as well. So the AstroHD membership is just a great way to get acquainted with these systems and these modalities and learn the niche topics like how to analyze transits, how to read transits, how to find the transits and how to read them for yourself, how to apply them to your chart, what the human design sleep chart is and how to read it, how to analyze it, as well as just like some other things that I've done classes on, like the Astrology of Human Design. I did one on how astrology integrates into human design and how they really help and complement each other. And there's also more classes in there on determination, your digestion, human design, your cognition, which is like your strongest intuitive ability, and so many other more classes that you can check out through the link in the description box or show notes. If you go to my website, astrologyhumandesign.com, at the banner of the top of the website, it tells you about my membership, and you click on it and it will take you to the membership page to see what all is included in the portal. And yeah, as well as the classes that already live in that portal, anyone that's a member, an active member of the membership, receives invitations to my live classes once or twice a month. I'm hosting them for free. So they're normally anywhere from $44 to $55. But if you're in the AstroHD membership, you get to hop on the live class for free. And then you have access to the replay forever, as it will live in the library after I do it live. So that's something that's, another benefit of the membership. But you can also just book the live classes by the each if you just want to join one of them. What else? And then coming soon to the membership is a community chat. I'm not sure when this will be unveiled, as I'm waiting on Clubhouse to kind of unveil a feature that would allow me to do this with you guys and host like weekly chats and conversations like live. And then also there's like a chat feature. So that is coming soon, and I will keep you guys updated on when that is to be released as a feature of the membership as well. And then what I'm doing too in my AstroHD school is selling classes that I've done in the school as a la carte offers. So if you just want to sneak peek into the school, or you just want to learn about one thing, like I have the Dream Wave Human Design Sleep Chart Dream Rave class that I did as an a la carte offer on the AstroHD school page. I also added recently the Human Design Transits as an a la carte offer. You can just buy the one class if you don't want to join the school or the membership, you just want one class. And then there's also, what did I just say? The Human Design Transits I added, and I added the Astrology of Human Design as a unbundled class there as well. So doing a lot more teachings and classes these days, and less readings and one-on-one work. So that's kind of how my everything is evolving, and what I'm doing is evolving, doing more stuff like this, because I really love teaching you guys. That's really where my passion is right now. It's really what lights me up right now, is teaching, because if you have these tools in your toolbox, like life becomes so much more manageable. It becomes so much more easy. It becomes so much more harmonious, not only with like your relationship with yourself in your own life, but also your relationship with other people in your life. You can just so much better understand everyone else in your life if you know how to read their charts. So that's why I'm so passionate about teaching you all these systems and not being someone that's a reader forever, because I believe you're more empowered if you know how to use these systems on your own and don't need to depend on anyone else to read them for you. Okay, so that was like a totally unexpected tangent that I just went on, but that's what's alive for me right now. That's what I'm doing right now. My next live class is going to be on the astrology of relationships. So in theme of like this past month, and as we're moving into October, there's just a big theme right now of, I mean, we're in Libra season, relationships. Like Mercury retrograde was in Libra and Virgo, and Mercury right now is in gate 6, which is all about intimacy and our relationships. We're in a Venus year. 2022 adds up to 6. So 6 is representative of Venus in numerology. So we're in a Venus year. Relationships are the most important focus of this year, as well as finances, our values, our self-worth, everything that Venus rules over, right? Everything that Venus is the ruler of in our lives. So relationships are a big focus of this year. And that's my next class, is going to be on the astrology of relationships. And then a week that's going to be on October 13th. You can sign up for it through my website. But also, like I said, if you're a member of the AstroHD membership, you get free access to the live. And then my next class a week after that, on October 20th, is going to be on human design relationships. So human design connection charts and how to read those. So I'll be going over astrology first, and then the next week I'll be going into human design. I expect each of those classes to be pretty long and in depth, and it does help if you're like intermediate in either modality and you have my ebook, The Cosmos Within You, and you have a general understanding of the planets, the houses, the aspects, and the signs in astrology. And then in human design, if you have a general understanding of the profile lines, the centers, the types and authorities, which again, there's classes in my membership, and my ebook is also a great resource to learn the foundational information around all those things. But the classes I'm now doing are more geared towards people who already have a foundational knowledge of these systems. And that's also what my membership is for. If you don't have a foundational understanding of these systems, there are courses and classes within the membership portal that will teach you the foundations. And then my AstroHD school is like everything you need, right? So the membership portal is like everything is simplified, everything is very just like down to the basics, foundational. And then if you want to learn deeply from my perspective, each of the signs, planets, houses, and just the deeper stuff in astrology and human design, that's what my school is for. And you can take a look at what's included in that on the course, on the school page. Anyways, so yeah, big focus of this year, and as we're coming out of all these retrogrades, is relationships and really integrating everything that we've learned. We're you know, retrograde periods are all about being introspective, going internal, right? Taking everything that we've been shown so far this past year and reflecting on it, being like, okay, what did I learn? What do I need to still learn and integrate and heal from? And how can I move forward with that knowledge and start to externalize it, right? Start to externalize everything that has been internal for the past couple months while all like so many planets have been in retrograde. And so that's what October is really about. I feel like is really externalizing everything that we've been learning, all the changes we've been making or wanting to make or sitting with or things we've been healing. Like October is really about moving forward in that energy and really starting to like integrate and embody it on an external level. So I also have a blog post I just did on Jupiter retrograde and like the 3 phases, because someone I interact with a lot on the Clubhouse app brought up like, oh, when Jupiter moved into retrograde, or when Jupiter moved into Aries, everyone was like, oh my God, Jupiter in Aries, but it's like, because Jupiter has been in a retrograde period in Aries, there's like 3 phases of Jupiter in Aries. We have the pre-retrograde period when it was direct and just moved into Aries, then we had it go retrograde. So we're still in that retrograde period. And then once it goes direct, we'll be in the post-retrograde period. And I'm going to talk about this. Do I talk about this in my transit class? I talk about this in one of my transit classes in the membership, where it's like there's phases of retrograde, there's phases of planets being in certain signs, right? There's the pre-retrograde phase, like I just said, where a planet just moves into that sign. Some transits don't have this, but like Mars, for example, is going to have this because it'll be in Gemini for so long. It's going to go retrograde in Gemini. So we're in the pre-retrograde phase right now of Mars in Gemini, where it's like we're kind of just being shown all the things that we're going to reassess during the retrograde period. And then once Mars goes direct in Gemini, which I don't have the exact date on that, I think it's March or something, then we will start to externalize all the things that we saw, reassessed, right? And then it's like the post-retrograde period is all about moving forward with those things that were brought to our attention to introspect on. If that makes sense. My blog post like really breaks it down with using Jupiter and Aries as an example, but I just felt called to mention that for anyone that feels called to go check that out and learn about like really what it means when a planet first moves into a sign, and the fact that it's going to go retrograde in that sign, something to look out for. So I really don't feel like we will see the full extent of Jupiter and Aries until it goes direct in Aries again. And then that's like when things will really start to come in, right? For me as a Libra rising, that's probably when I'll like finally find new friends and finally call in like other people in my life, because Aries rules my 7th house, and the 7th house is all about other people. And I've first like this whole year been like, where are my people? Like, where is my like partner? Where is like my, like friends and my external like physical world, right? Like I have so many friends all over the world, but I don't have many here where I live. And so I'm like, where is it? Like, and so, analyzing my own chart, I can see, oh, that's probably when that will happen, when Jupiter goes direct in my 7th house again for the final time in the 12-year cycle that Jupiter has. Okay, so did not plan to talk about any of this, but this is just what comes out. Trust my intuition, and we're flowing with it. I have the 2034 channel, so we just gotta express what comes out in the now all day. Okay, so back to October. So speaking of all these planets being in retrograde and going direct in October, let's break this down. So Mercury goes direct on October 2nd. I'm so excited because I'm so ready for Mercury to be out of my 12th house. Whenever things are in my 12th house, I'm just like, oh, this is tough. Like, anyways, I digress. I'm grateful for the lessons I've learned, even though they're challenging. Then on the 8th of October, we have Pluto going direct. So Mercury going direct, like I said, and just talked about, when planets exit their retrograde period, we start to externalize all of the lessons that were brought to our attention, to reflect on and to be in an internal state about assessment, right? Assessing things through our internal awareness. We will start to externalize those lessons and externalize those assessments. Once Mercury goes direct on the 2nd, that's to do with our communication, our mental patterns, our perceptions of reality, our belief systems. Did I say thoughts already? Thoughts are ruled by Mercury as well as communication is, but it all stems from the mind. And then on the 8th, Pluto goes direct, and Pluto is transformation, death and rebirth, inner truth, cycles of standing in our power and standing in our truth. So a lot of us are learning what that looks like right now in our relationships, right? To be standing in our power, to be firm in who we are, to be firm and steadfast in our own personal truth, to be reborn into that truth so that it is integrated and embodied, and we don't have to keep repeating and learning that lesson over and over and over. So that's what will kind of start to take place around the 8th of October when Pluto goes direct. As always, consult where this is in your chart. For me, it's my 4th house, which I'm excited about because Pluto retrograde in my 4th house has been kind of just a lot of instability and death and rebirth in my like foundations and in my home. So I'm excited for Pluto to go direct in my 4th house on the 8th. Mercury enters Libra again on the 10th of October, which is exciting because we're currently in Libra season until the 23rd of October. So Libra season again is a focus on relationships, values, cultivating more beauty in our life. A lot of us are changing our appearances right now, changing just the way that we have beauty and cultivate beauty in our lives. And again, Libra is ruled by Venus, and we're in a Venus year. So this is a big, what do I want to say? This is a big just time of reevaluating the connections we have in our lives. And right now the sun is in gate 18 in human design. So this is a time right now of making corrections to our relationships, making corrections to our values, our self-worth, our financial situation and picture, and stepping into a new relationship with all of those things. Oh my gosh. You can tell I'm a Taurus by the way I like adjust my hair all the time, because like other Tauruses I watch on YouTube and things, they're always like adjusting their hair, and I'm like, it's that Taurus thing. Because like no one else touches their hair. That's not, I don't know. Anyways, that was like a tangent. And then on the 22nd of October, Saturn goes direct, which I am so stoked about. Because for me, all of my Saturn placements in human design are in my undefined solar plexus. So I don't feel Saturn's like energy really very much consistently, because all my Saturn placements are in an undefined center, and the placements you have in an undefined center are not consistent energies in you. So I don't feel Saturn's like energy that much, but when things light up my solar plexus and connect my solar plexus to anything else, I feel Saturn so hard, and that's happening right now because Saturn is in gate 49. And I'm so ready for Saturn to go direct. It has been so intense for me, y'all. Since Saturn went into gate 49 and activated an emotional channel in my chart in July, I want to say like July 7th or 8th. I think I talked about that I did a video on Saturn retrograde for all 12 zodiac signs. So go back and watch that, because I believe I talked about it in that video and like what gates it was going to be moving through. But I'm so excited for Saturn to be out of gate 49 because it has been tough for me. And obviously Saturn's going to move back into gate 49 after it goes direct, but hopefully it'll be easier because I've already experienced the pre-retrograde, and then we're in the retrograde right now. And then the post-retrograde is like, all right, Time to externalize this shit. No more lessons to be learned. We're taking action on them. Let's see. So that happens on the 5th of October. Saturn moves out of gate 49. Saturn will move into gate 13, which is the gate of the listener, I believe. Let me just make sure I have that correct. Actually, I have my human design book right here. I used to like plan these out, and then I was like, you know what? I'm right-brained. Like it's not going to work for me to like plan out this stuff. So I'm doing it in real time for you guys right now. So you get to see my whole process too of like how I interpret and analyze this stuff. Yeah. So gate 13 is a gate of the listener. It says universal ideas and values and an ordered framework, which inspires humanistic cooperation. I feel like this is about the time when we're going to start like really, like I've been saying this whole time so far, like really integrating and embodying the values that we've changed, the values that we've realized we need to shift or need to step into more, and really where we're just going to start moving forward with that energy. Because let's see, yeah, gate 13 is in the G center, and we have the nodes in the G center as well right now. So there's a lot of like G center activation happening. There's a lot of like forward momentum energy. I talked about this in my August update as well, when I was going over the Uranus North Node Mars conjunction, because it actually happened in the G center. And the G center is not only the home of the magnetic monopole, which like literally holds us together in this quantum reality, but it's also our driver. It's like the literal part of us that's driving us forward and moving us into the direction that we, realize we want to go. So there's just big G center energy for October, it feels like, with Saturn moving into the G center, and then the nodes will be in the G center all month. Which the nodes, I talk about this in my human design transit class, the nodes are the seasons of life that we're in as a collective. So anytime the nodes shift, what gates they're in, that shifts are kind of like the season that we're in as a collective. So Saturn will retrograde into gate 13 on the 5th of October. What keynote is that? Optimist. So amazing, because it's line 6. And that is the gate of the listener with the keynote of the optimist. So it feels like we're just going to be feeling a lot more optimistic about our lives and about the ways that we're moving forward and the ways that we're taking action towards this new direction. Okay, so on the 3rd of October, I'll go into let me see if there's anything actually in astrology that I want to touch on. We have a lot entering Scorpio on the 23rd of October. And then Jupiter retrograde will enter Pisces on the 27th of October. So there will be a reevaluation of that house, that area of life for you based on where you have Pisces in your chart. For me, it's a 6th house. So probably more reassessments around my work, my routine, probably my workout routine, health routine, because Pisces rules my 6th house, like I said. And then on the 29th, we have Mercury entering Scorpio. And then on the 30th, we have Mars stationing retrograde, which it will go retrograde in gate 12 in human design. The keynote of, let's see, line 4, which is the keynote of the prophet. So it feels like there's just a lot of energy. There will be a lot of energy in October around like sharing our transformations, sharing everything we've been learning and integrating, and like putting it forward into the world as like something, like a literal thing that we've created, something material, physical, tangible that we've created, probably been working on for a really long time. But again, this is just like me looking into the future. I don't know what it's going to look like for you on an individual level. So consult your chart as always. I will die on this hill. Consult your chart as always. Don't just take what everyone says about these things at face value. Like, consult your chart and get messages from your chart. Because that's really what's going to be the most accurate for you on an individual level. Again, this is just me reading the collective energy. Okay, so anything else I want to talk about? On the 10th, we have Venus opposing Chiron. Feels like the energy of relationship healing around the 10th of October, right after Pluto goes direct. and Mercury moves into Libra. Chiron is also in retrograde. I don't know when it goes direct because this book doesn't tell me, and this book doesn't tell me either. Man, people are really sleeping on Chiron. Like Chiron's the most important part of anyways. I'm not gonna get on that tangent right now. But so yeah, Chiron's retrograde and Aries, all about reassessing our drive, reassessing our energetic expression, our identities, our sense of self, how we're like taking bold, brave, courageous, inspired action in our lives. And then with Venus opposing it on the 10th of October, it will be like that reflected in our relationships and probably in money and finances as well. Around the 10th and the 12th, it just like feels like, again, there's this big energy of just like feeling reinvigorated, feeling optimistic, feeling like we are more expanded in how we're talking, more expanded in how we're thinking, more expanded in how we're perceiving reality, especially as it relates to our money and our finances. Because we have on the 12th Mercury opposing Jupiter. Ooh, a lot of Venus trines around the 13th and the 18th of October. Sun scoring Pluto on the 19th. That might be a kind of intense day, good day for a rest. Then on that day, oh yeah, we also have Venus square Pluto on that day and Mercury opposing Chiron. So it feels like that's also going to be another day of like healing, transforming, and it's gonna illuminate something that needs to like be shifted and something that needs to be changed. It might be a day of like friction or challenges or something comes up that's just like, okay, a lesson to learn. The last hurrah kind of energy is what I'm feeling. Ooh, and then we have Venus conjunct the Sun on the 22nd, which feels like a good day. And then we have Mercury squaring Pluto on the 27th, right before Jupiter enters Pisces again. What's a translation for that? It feels like, again, there might just be some friction or challenges around our mental space or our communication as it relates to like the transformation we've been stepping into and the ways of being we've been stepping into, and how we're reclaiming our power is going to show up in our communication or our mind. And there's going to be something that happens that's like, again, kind of like a challenge there to overcome. Yeah, I feel really good about Scorpio season too. Like Scorpio season feels like just a rebirth happening on a really big level for a lot of us. So I'm not going to get into that right now because we'll get into that when I go over the gates. Okay, so gates of October, the Sun and the Earth's movement through the gates in October. So on the 3rd of October, we have Libra entering, the Sun in Libra entering gate 48, which is the gate of, I believe it's like, I always think of this gate as like, think of this gate as like self-doubt. It's kind of like doubt that comes when we're getting really close to something, right? This is in the spleen. It's like a survival response. It's like that doubt kind of creeps in and is like, oh, are we sure we want to do this? Are we sure? You know, but it's like, yeah, there's a reason that fear is coming up because you're stepping into a new level of being. Ego doesn't like that. It's uncomfortable. It's new. Ego likes to stay comfortable. Our human selves like to stay comfortable. Our monkey brain likes to stay comfortable. The spleen likes to stay comfortable, right? It likes to protect itself. And that's where the fear of the spleen comes from. So this week from the 3rd to the 7th of October will kind of be a surfacing of those doubts and any fears to like just look at and like love and not give weight to, also like recognize they're in the back seat, right? This is just conditioning. The transits that we're experiencing are just conditioning. It's just information. And that's why we have our strategy and authority to tune into and make decisions from. Transits might muddy that a little bit, but you still have your sense of direction through your strategy and authority. That's like key to not get caught up in these transits, not get caught up in the conditioning that's coming in, the information we're receiving from these transits, and realize like, oh, it's just information. It's just information. It's not true. It doesn't mean anything about me or my life. It's just information. And like I said, if fears are coming up, it's probably because you're onto something big and onto something major that needs to be like taken action towards, right? With bravery and with courage. Chiron and Jupiter currently in retrograde in Aries. How can you internally cultivate a sense of bravery and courage and take inspired action from that place, even if it seems like you don't have it on the external or things aren't working out the way you planned? Like, how can you just stay consistent with that bravery and that courage to move forward towards your vision and your goal and your dream? And then with that, the Earth will be in gate 21, which is all about resources, controlling resources. This is a part of the money channel. So we have Mars in gate 45 right now. So, and it will be in gate 45 during this transit, with the Earth being in gate 21. So the money line will be in transit until the 7th of October, which is a good time to like make money. Good time to get clear on the ways you want to create money and what limiting beliefs you need to shift and transform as it relates to money, resources in your life, having that security in your life. That being said, we do have Mercury right now until the 7th of October as well in gate 6. So there might be a lot of conflict right now, mental conflict or conflict with communication in your relationships, in your intimate relationships with people. Like literally, I tweeted about this yesterday because I was like, what is going on in my relationships? Like, I feel like I'm just like getting really easily in these like petty arguments and these just like this state of like friction and conflict in my relationships. Like, what is happening? And sure enough, looked at the transits. Mercury has been in gate 6 because it's retrograde, it's moving backwards, re-entered gate 6 on Sunday, which was, oh my God, it's Friday. What was Sunday? The 26th? I don't know. Where did this week go? So yeah, there might be just a tinge of that with our communication. So be extra careful and aware that you're being clear of what you're communicating and that assumptions aren't being made in your conversations with people, and that you're asking people for clarity. Hey, this is what I heard from what you said. Did you mean that? Or, don't just assume and then get mad at someone. Like, ask what they meant, clarify. Crucial for this transit right now. We have Venus in gate 18 right now as well, which is the gate of skills. So just doing what you love, cultivating greater skill in that. Oh, wait, no, that's gate 16. Gate 18 is about correction. So again, we're making corrections in our relationship, in our finances, in our self-worth, our value systems. Yeah, gate 16 is Gemini. That would make sense. Anyways. So Venus is in gate 18 until the 6th. There's a lot moving on the 6th and the 7th of October, shifting from gates. And then on the 8th of October, we have the sun moving into gate 57 and we have the earth moving into gate 51. So our intuition is really going to get a spike and a peak during this time because 57 is the gate. It's a gate of attunement. It's a gate of instinctual knowing, of survival awareness. It's the most intuitive gate in human design and in the spleen. So this bridge is one of my splits too. So I'm really excited about this. If you have gate 20, this is going to make a channel called the brainwave, which will be fun and insightful. And it just like feels like creative, fun energy during that week from the 8th until the 13th. It looks like the sun will be in gate 57, the 8th through the 13th. And then the earth will be in gate 51, which is the gate of shock. So yeah, it might be some just shocking, unexpected things that happen or come in. Doesn't mean it's going to be bad. It could be shocking in a good way. Like, holy shit, I just got an unexpected $5,000. I didn't, it can be a good thing. Take it as it resonates. Take it as what you want to see, right? Because what you want to see and what you're saying is what you're going to see. Okay, so none of this is good or bad. It just is. It's how you perceive it that makes it good or bad. So perceive it as something that will be great and an unexpected change in a good way. And that's what you will create. But like I said, we will be getting a lot of intuitive downloads during this time with the sun in gate 57. Let me see if there's any other thing I want to mention about gate 57. This gate has the potential to make a lot of channels as well, like I said. Let me find this gate. Yeah, gate of intuitive insight. Lots of clarity will come in from this gate during this time as well. If you've been feeling like foggy or unclear, everyone I know that is an emotional authority has been in a low right now. If you're feeling that, like this transit will cause just like clarity and like almost sudden insight. Maybe that's a little shocking. Like I said, the Earth will be in gate 51 too this whole time during this transit. And then Mercury is moving into gate 46, which is the love of the body, I believe, because Mercury goes direct on the 2nd. So then it will move forward through gate 6. And then it will move into gate 46 on the 9th. It re-enters Libra, I believe, on the 10th. After it's already entered gate 46, and gate 46 is in the G center as well. So like I said earlier, lots of G center activation this whole month, really. And then Venus will join the sun in gate 57 on the 11th. So this just feels like a lot of clarity, a lot of intuitive insight being just received almost unexpectedly and probably will shock us, like I said. And then Mars will move into gate 12 on the 9th, which is a gate of like moodiness and a gate of caution. So just be aware of, how you're feeling and how that's impacting your ability to be social or to not be social. That will be a focus while Mars is in gate 12, and Mars will be there all month until it goes retrograde. Jupiter is going to be in gate 25. Oh, so we'll have the 21, 25, 51 channel activated starting on the 9th until the 13th. So that will be, that whole channel will be activated. That'll be fun. So we'll have activation from the heart to the G center. So if you don't normally have activation or definition in your heart or G center, this is going to create that temporarily. And the 2551 channel is all about unconditional love. It's like Christ consciousness, Jesus energy. It's just having compassion for life, having compassion for others, having compassion for ourselves and others, like I said. There's also going to be, I feel this channel is going to bring a lot of healing for a lot of us and a lot of clarity with that 57 being in transit too. This is exciting. I'm so excited for October. There's so much happening. Holy camole. Holy guacamole. Okay, so Saturn will be in gate 13 all month. I'm looking to see if there's any important. No, most of the important transits are in the minor planets, the inner planets, between Mercury and Venus, and then the sun and the earth. So, okay, let's see. On the 14th of October, the sun will move into gate 32, and from the 14th until the 19th, the sun will be in gate 32, and the earth will be in gate 42. 32, I think of gate 32 as like the trendsetter gate. It's like knowing what's going to be successful before it is. But I know that's not like a common translation of this gate, but that's just how I see it. So it feels like, again, this is like spleen energy. This is like intuitive knowing, intuitive insights, instinctual intelligence, which is intuition, right? So this is like a big month of strengthening our relationship with our intuition, of listening to our intuition, listening to the hits that we get that tell us to do random things, because those are going to lead us to amazing things and opportunities and people and places. So really listening, this whole month is about listening to our intuition and following it, even if it doesn't make sense to the mental faculties of the mind, right? If we can't rationalize intuition, it never makes sense until we look back and say, oh, that's why I felt called to do that. I love giving the example. If you've had a reading with me, you've heard me give this example of a defined spleen and how the spleen operates, especially if your authority is splenic. It's like you're driving somewhere, you go to this one place all the time and you take this route, you don't even need GPS. And then your intuition is like, turn left here. And you're like, I don't know why, that's going to take longer. Like I always go this way. And then you get up ahead and there's traffic. Your intuition told you to avoid the traffic, but you didn't listen because it didn't make sense in the moment, right? That's like the energy of these gates being activated. And it's interesting too, because most of the Libran gates sit in the spleen. So this is not only our relationship, you know, with others and with ourselves, but our relationship to using our intuition as it relates to our relationships with others and ourselves. Like, how tapped in are you to your intuition, and how are you using that in your everyday life to benefit yourself and benefit your relationships? Because intuition is always going to tell us, it's always going to be on point. It's whether or not we listen, right? And then on the 20th of October, from the 20th until the 24th or 25th, depending on where you are in the world, the sun is going to move and be in gate 50, which is a gate of nurturance. Okay, I just got distracted by looking at when Pluto moves back into gate 60, because we'll have the Earth, when the sun is in gate 50, we'll have the Earth in gate 3. Gate 50, like I said, is all about nurturance. So it's like, how are you nurturing yourself? How are you taking time out for self-care? And how are you being conscious and aware of the relationships that you have in your life that are supportive, that are nurturing, that are empowering, that are equal? There's an equal give and take in your relationships, and they're not just like draining you dry and taking all of your nurturing energy, right? And requiring so much support that you're not receiving that back from the person, right? This month, like I said, as well as it is, just as much as it is about trusting our intuitive hits and our intuitive downloads, it's also about using that in alignment with like our relationships and trusting that intuition, whether it's coming from ourselves or coming from another person, right? I have a friend who's also super intuitive, and I call her all the time, and I'll tell her, oh, just met this, and she's like, I don't feel like, man, because sometimes we can get caught up in our own like delusion. We can get caught up in our own like fantasy of like clouding our judgment when we especially when we first meet someone, right? And it's like, what is your body telling you? What is your body responding to this person or in this environment? And it's all about trusting that, and also trusting the information that maybe your friends are also telling you. You know, take it as it resonates. But that's what I really feel like this transit to the sun in gate 50 from the 20th until the 24th or 25th is going to be all about, is like really just making sure there's an equal give and take between, in our relationships, between the support we're giving and the support we're receiving, and the nurturance we're receiving and the nurturance we're given, right? Making sure we're not being used or like taken advantage of or anything like that, that there's an equal exchange. And like, people show you who they are. It's just a matter of like, do you believe it? Do you believe it? Or are you trying to tell a story that doesn't align with what your body is telling you? Where's Mercury going to be at that time? Let's see. Gate 57 as well. So like, what's your spleen telling you? What's your intuition telling you? Okay, and then on the 25th of October, we have the sun moving into gate 28 and the Earth moving into gate 27, which is the other end of 27, is the other end of that channel where the 50 is. So we'll still be a theme of like grounding ourselves in nurturing relationships, grounding ourselves in self-care practices, learning what we need in order to really truly nurture ourselves, so that we notice and are like conscious of what that looks like from other people. And then with the sun in 28, I believe 28 is a part of the gate of struggle. 28 is, yep, or I'm sorry, the channel of struggle. Interesting. I didn't know this about gate 28. Gate 28 is all about a transitoriness of power and influence, it says. Yeah, so again, just this theme of trusting our intuition, trusting the spleen. And if you have an open or undefined spleen, right, trusting what you feel around other people is crucial and extra important, and letting go of things that don't feel good to your body. Because if you constantly meet yourself up against all of the things that don't feel good and you don't let go of them, even though you know they're not good for you, right? That's the not self of the spleen. then you're going to struggle with immune issues, immune system issues, and you're going to get sick more often. You're going to have issues with your immune system, with your lymphatic system, right? Because that's what the spleen rules in our bodies. So this is a big theme of October too, is like trusting. I feel like I'm a broken record at this point. Trusting your intuition, trusting what your body is saying to you, the visceral responses you're getting from things. And 28 too is also a gate of like pushing through. It's like not allowing ourselves to get caught up in like trying to mentally figure out why things are happening, or mentally trying to figure out what we're here for, right? Especially if you have an open or undefined G center, you're here to let the universe show you your direction and your identity, right? It's not correct for you to seek it out if you have an undefined or open G center. And so I feel like this is what this gate is going to kind of activate from the 25th until the 30th, till the end of October, is like, there might feel like a little bit of like, okay, am I still in the right direction? Am I still doing and moving towards what I want to in the ways that I want to, and not getting caught up in like, oh my God, it's such a struggle. Oh my God, it's so hard. Like, why am I here? What am I doing? You know, not listening to those voices or giving weight or identifying with those voices, because they're more likely to come in and be loud around this time with this gate. Looking in my ebook for what this gate has, because in my ebook I give each gate like a lesson, and I like channeled most of this stuff, so I forget what I wrote. So in my ebook, gate 28, it says, yeah, lifeline struggle to find meaning for life and a greater connection with the divine through taking risks. So again, this energy, and specifically around this time, but really all month, is about taking the risks that our intuitions is telling us to. And the lesson of this gate is to embrace the struggle and know that it's leading you to greater knowledge and wisdom. And even if you fail, right, it's going to teach you something that you can take with you as wisdom and as knowledge, to not repeat the same mistake in the same way and not have to learn that lesson over and over and over again. So that's the energy of the end of October. And then on the 31st, on Halloween, let's see, what do we have going on? Mars will be retrograde in gate 12. We have Venus in gate 44. We have the sun moving into gate 44 on the 31st, which the gate 44, I love gate 44 because it's also in the spleen, and it's about having those intuitive insights that are going to benefit the collective. It's about like remembering the past in a way that's going to evolve it, in a way that's going to mutate it, so that we can bring in a new paradigm, bring in the new, and transform the old, and not repeat the same things again. A big energy towards the end of October as we enter into Scorpio season and other planets move into Scorpio with the sun. Big lesson around not repeating the same mistakes, learning, mutating, transforming, and healing from all the things the retrograde periods have shown us, so that we don't have to repeat those lessons, right? So that we move on from them and we can integrate and embody the changes in our own lives in a new way. So that's what October has in store. I'm really excited. I'm like super freaking excited. We also have a lot of long void of course moons in October, which normally there's like, I've talked about this on my Twitter a lot, so you can go and search, if you search VOC or void of course, both, because I have referred to that both ways in my tweets. But normally we don't have, okay, how do I break this down in a way that makes sense? So the void of course moon, I talk about this in my ebook too. The void of course moon happens every 2 days, because basically when the moon is void of course, it's when it's transitioning from one sign to another. And generally it only takes a few hours for this to happen. A lot of the times it's like happens in the middle of the night, so we don't even really feel it. And this is crucial to be aware of for emotional authorities, for reflectors, for projectors, because y'all are really sensitive to the moon cycles. So void of course moons are times when it's like things are just going to feel really shifty and really transitory. It's like just like this energy of like, oh, what am I doing? You know, like just that kind of like unclearness. Like one of my best friends is an emotional authority, and whenever she calls me in the moon's void of course, it's like that's the energy. She's just like feeling unclear. She's just, you know, like in this kind of transitory place. And that's what void of course moon transits bring the energy of. So just know that that's going to happen a lot in October. The dates are the 1st, the 5th, the 10th, the 12th, the 15th, the 17th, the 22nd, and the 24th. So I might do a Twitter thread, like breaking all those down, and the times that they'll be happening as well. So you just you're informed about this. But you can also use an app like Time Passages, that will tell you just right in the homepage when you bring up the current transits, it will tell you void of course, and it will tell you what times in your time zone the moon is going to be void of course next. So that's a good app to reference for that as well. I have this little like planner, this astrology planner that tells me, it gives me like a month overview. It gives me a daily overview of like how long the moon is going to be void of course. Like, let's look at the 1st. No, it's in September. So the moon will be void of course this is tomorrow. The 1st of October is tomorrow. Oh my gosh. So the moon will be void of course tomorrow this is Pacific time, about 2:46 until midnight. So all evening tomorrow, the moon will be void of course. So just be aware of that. I'm gonna spend this whole weekend chilling and not doing much. That's just me, follow your strategy and authority, as always. Okay, so let's get into the tarot readings for each sign. I'm gonna start with manifestors. I'm gonna check the chat too. I forget there's a chat. Okay. No one has any questions. Good. Hopefully that means I was clear in my update. Okay, so manifestors, let's see what October has in store. Ooh, the Fool card. Hermit. Eight of Cups. Feels about right. Queen of Swords. Oh, manifestors, this is looking good. Sun on the bottom in the reverse. We'll get into that in a second. Hangman, 6 Pentacles. Okay. Cool. So the first card that came out was the Fool card. I think I've already said that. I'm just like in my channel state now. So I'm like, I don't know what I'm saying. Don't remember anything I'm saying. It just whoop, comes out. So the Fool card, this is all about new beginnings. This is about taking the leap. Like, what was I saying the whole update in October? Take the leap, move towards what has been calling you. Move in a new direction is what it seems like. And it might be requiring more alone time. It might be requiring you to hermit a little bit more, manifestor. And it might require you as well to walk away from some things. It might require you to, especially things that were like emotionally draining, things that weren't really giving you energy, weren't in your highest excitement, you're walking away from. It feels like there's a new journey. There's a new leap to take, right? There's a new leap to take into the unknown. And like I said, it might require some more time in introspection to get clear, especially if you're an emotional manifestor. It's going to require time for your wave to go through it, do its thing, for you to reach that clarity. But it takes time, right? And so it's just about trusting that process and trusting what your solar plexus, if that's your authority as a manifestor, is communicating to you and how it's like pulling you to move forward, what you're feeling, right? But again, it's going to require a little bit of waiting. It's going to require kind of maybe saying no more and cutting yourself off more from people, places, things that just don't feel good, right? Trust your body. You're really standing into your power. You're standing into your truth this month as well, manifestors. Like there's just this energy of like transformation that's occurring because you've taken this leap, because you're like, okay, I see where I want to go, right? Manifestors, y'all have such a clear vision of what you want to do and why you're here. And you know that deep inside, and you're like, okay, this is it. Like you just get more and more clarity around it over time. And so I feel like that's really happening this month. You're seeing things from a new perspective. You know how to inform people about it because you've gotten more clarity around it. You know how to initiate, you know how to act, you know how, you know what you need to do. And it's just about doing it when it feels right, when your authority is like, okay, now's the time, right? It feels like a lot of you guys are like using your voice more this month in October, either in your relationships or in your career or both. It's like you're standing in your power. You're really using your intuition in alignment with your energetic, how do I say that? Like the way you're expressing your energy is like you're moving more in alignment with your intuition and more in alignment with like what feels good and communicating from that place. Whereas it's almost like as before, you guys just didn't know kind of like how to go about what you want to do and how to make that vision a reality. But now you kind of have like a little bit more of a foundation of like what you want it to look like or how you want it to be created. And now it's like time to just like inform the people like, hey, I'm doing this, and like do it. Feels like that's the big energy for you all in October. And seeing things from a new perspective as well, like the Hangman here. It's like not getting tied up, like the whole update of October was about, not getting tied up necessarily in what your mind is telling, what your reasoning mind wants to tell you, but what feels good and what your intuition is like, yeah, do this and do it now kind of energy, right? And then Six of Pentacles, I feel like too, it's like just make sure there's, an equal exchange of giving and receiving in whatever you're doing and whatever ways that you are wanting to impact the people around you, just making sure that there's an equal energetic exchange, because if you're not receiving in an equal way, it's going to feel unbalanced. It's going to feel not good. So just making sure that you're, getting what you want for what you're doing. Okay, final messages. Oh, yeah, it feels like there might be some like conflict, or might be some like you have to stand your ground around something. Maybe in like, you're just getting a new job or something, starting a new career, and you're like, okay, like standards almost, it feels like your standards have risen, and Sun again in reverse came out. It's like, don't forget about your joy. Don't forget about like what's in your highest excitement. Don't let how things look distract you from what actually feels good, what actually feels exciting is the message. And fight for your joy, fight for your freedom, fight for your peace. Manifestors, you're here to feel peace. Fight for that. Stand your ground. Okay, that's what I have for you, manifestors. Let me know how that resonated in the comments. It feels like too, you guys will be connecting more with your inner child this month, and just maybe like thinking back to like what you like to do as a kid, what you like envisioned your life to be like as a kid, that kind of energy. So that's it for you, manifestors, in October. Happy October. All right, what do you have for generators? Generators in October. Give me generators. Energy for October. What do the generators need to know? I gotta like keep my screen clear here, because otherwise I'm like a squirrel. Generators, what do you need to know for October? All right, there we go. Okay, Queen of Cups. Oh, King of Pentacles. Okay. I feel like a lot of you are getting new jobs or starting a new career. Like you had like to go through a lot of emotional healing. There's just a big theme right now of a lot of clarity being gained, and a lot of just like emotional healing that we've learned. Venus here. We've all realized what we need to stand in our power, to value ourselves and to value others, and our standards have risen. This whole year has been like a theme, and like raising standards, right? What are your values? Are you living according to those values, or are you compromising for the sake of other people? Okay. Wow, I really just love doing these so much. Okay, what else do we got for generators? Okay. Yeah, it's like Sun in reverse came out for manifestors as well. Okay, anything else for generators for October? Anything else for generators for October? Okay. It feels like there's a lot of ending. Ten of Swords just came out, which is like not a fun card to visually look at. But there is like, this power, just energy in the background of this. Like, I think there's another card in this deck, or maybe it's another deck I have that is this card in depicts it in a different way, where it's like the sun is coming up over the horizon. And like, I feel like the message is still kind of similar to that, even though this isn't what this depicts. It's like the red and the black energy is like, okay, there's something you had to end, right? There's something you had to let go of, generator. But it's because it was keeping you from your power and from your truth and from the rebirth that is required of you at this time. Yes, required to step into your new thing. I put that came out last, but I put it at the beginning because I feel like this is the energy you guys are in right now or will be soon, of like, okay, I gotta end this. I gotta like I gotta stop. Either it's like a person or a thought pattern or a way you're communicating with yourself, because this is swords energy. It could also be your belief system. Oh my God, my West Virginia accent just came out when I said swords. Oh, love it, love it. You can take the girl out the South, but you can't take the South out of the girl. So yeah, it feels like there's something you're just like, okay, I'm fed up with this. Either a belief system, a pattern, a habit, a person, a relationship, a job, you're just like, I'm done. I'm done. This is disempowering me. It's draining me. It's exhausting me. It doesn't light me up anymore. Generators, you're here to do what lights you up, whatever the hell that is. It's going to be different for all of you. But whatever it is, you're here to live your individuality. You're here to live your uniqueness and through following your passions, right? So whatever's not lighting you up anymore, sayonara, it's gone. It needs to be a cycle that is ending, okay? So, because you're moving on. You have become more emotionally mature. You have really stood in your power this past year. You've really been in this phase of like standing in your power, of creating more foundational support, creating more wealth, money, a different home that feels good, like really cultivating material possessions in your life that feel good to you, that are in your highest excitement, versus just having things to have things and like that you don't use. Like, it's like, no, like, what brings me value? What do I enjoy? What excites me about having this thing? It's like, that's really what you all are cultivating and stepping into and really owning, it feels like, in October. You're also really owning like this kind of new beginning with your communication, with maybe stepping into new thought patterns, new belief systems. Like I said, like, you closed out a cycle, or you are in the process of closing out a cycle, and now you're stepping into a new cycle of patterns, of belief systems, of communication, and like how you're moving forward in your life. And you've gained a lot of hope, or you need to have hope during this process, because the Star card came out here. It's like, remember why you're doing this, remember your vision, remember why you wanted to make these changes, why you wanted to innovate your life in the ways that you do, and remember like to have gratitude, remember to remain hopeful and to remain optimistic, even if things aren't necessarily looking the way you want them to yet. It's like, let that shit go. Like, don't give weight to thoughts that tell you you're not doing enough, or it's not happening quick enough. Like, that's just ignore them. Thoughts are just like clouds in the sky. Like, yeah, sometimes they'll rain and whatever, like you need an umbrella, but it's like, other than that, it's not a big deal. They move on. Don't identify with the thoughts. Don't identify with the thunderstorm and make it mean something about you in your life. It's just a thunderstorm and it's going to pass. It always does. So remember that this month, generators. Also remember to stand firm in your boundaries, stand firm in what you believe in your values that you are embodying and integrating at this time. Stand firm and stand balanced in your connections as well, making sure that they are in harmony and you're not being again, message this month for everybody of making sure you're not being taken advantage of, making sure there's an equal exchange in whatever you're doing. And that there's no like manipulative undertones to the relationships that you're in and the opportunities that are being presented to you. Don't forget your joy as well. Same message for manifestors came out, sun in reverse. Don't forget to put your joy first. We're so conditioned to think that we can't. You know, we have to work hard to celebrate. We have to work hard to be joyous. It's the other way around. It's the other way around. So put your joy, put your excitement first, and everything else will follow. And that is the message I have for you, generators. Happy October. Much love. All right, let me clear out this spread. And I'm going to do Manny Gens. Manifesting generator. What we got, what we got. I should go in evolutionary order when I do these. Then reflectors will be first, manifesting generators will be second, generators will be third, manifestors will be fourth, projectors would be last, because projectors, y'all, are the new type, the newest type. Okay, so this is for manifesting generators. What do we have for manifesting generators in October? All right. Manifesting generators, what do we have? Oh, wait. Ah. So sacral of me to just like make random sounds. Wait. Okay, a couple more cards. Oh, the Magician twice. That never happens. Manifesting generators. What else we got? Oh, okay. Oh, I like this spread, MGs. I'm also an MG, so I'm like, okay. Cool. Oh my gosh, 9 of Cups on the bottom. Wishes coming true for y'all. Wishes coming true. All right, MGs. First card came out was a 6 of Swords, moving on from something, moving on from rocky waters, moving on from old belief systems, old paradigms, old ways of thinking that did not serve you. You're moving into calmer waters. You're moving towards this rainbow. And like, yeah, it's a lot of maybe work and upper body strength is required to row yourself, right, in that direction. But it's going to be easier the more you go. The more the waters become smooth, the easier it becomes. And the more you learn, you know, that you cultivate that muscle memory so that it's not as hard next time to move on from things that were rocky. So that's kind of the energy of how October is starting off. It's like, okay, there's just some things that need to, you know, be moved on from, that need to, like, you know, what is that quote? It's like muddy water is best cleared. Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone or something. That's kind of like this energy. Like, just let it be, you know, don't fight battles that are going to drain you. Pick your battles wisely, choose your battles wisely, and move on when you need to, is the energy. And then celebrate yourself, celebrate your accomplishments, celebrate what you've done, celebrate the abundance that you've created, even if it's just like you manifested an extra $100, like celebrate that, because that is a celebration of like what you can create, and you can create anything you want. Manifesting generators, the Magician card came out twice. It came out twice. Y'all can create anything you want. You have the resources, you have everything you need to create whatever it is that you desire. Right? So it's just about trusting in that, trusting in your ability to create, and create rather quickly. It's like, once the ball's rolling, that shit ain't gonna stop. Like, the avalanche has been triggered. It is coming down the mountain, and it's coming down quick. So just know and trust in the whole process, and just like believe that once you make the decision about where you're headed and where you're steering your ship towards, right, it will all come together. Like, clarity is step number 1 for creation, for manifestation. Clarity is everything. And once you have clarity, you can move towards that thing, and it's going to make the whole ride smoother. So just trust in that process and believe in this process this month. You might be seeing 8s everywhere. You might be seeing 3s, might be seeing 6s, might be seeing 2s. Those are all signs that you're on the right path. But also ask, what does it mean that I'm seeing the synchronicity? message received, say something like that. So it's like, you're not associating what I'm telling you with seeing that number. You're actually using your intuition and your unique spirit team, right, to get the message that is meant for you through that synchronicity. And then at the end came out the Two of Pentacles. So just making sure that you're balancing everything and that you're staying in harmony with what you're doing and what you're creating and what you're putting out into the world, and making sure that you're not overexerting yourself, or you're not doing things when you really don't feel like, when you really don't feel like doing them. Like really trusting your feeling, really trusting your highest excitement, Manny Gens. This is what you're here for, is to trust that. And I just tweeted about this because I've been working on this thing and releasing and launching this thing that I'm really excited about. But it's like, when I go to like make the graphics, when I go to like write out the email, I'm like, I'm not feeling it right now. And it's like, I know I want to do this, right? I know I want to move in this direction, but it's not the right time right now for me to create all the things and to share it with you guys yet. It's not time. And that's why I've started it a little bit and not completed it, because it's not really time to complete it right now. And that's okay. It's time for me to do other things like this. And my class is upcoming in the middle of October. You know, there's other things that are my highest excitement right now. And yes, this is like, there's a lot of things I have like in the distance that are in my excitement, but I know they're not happening right. They're not here right now yet, because it's timing. It's all about timing and trusting in that divine timing and process, and making sure that you're not just spinning your wheels to like make it happen sooner, because it's not going to work. It's going to come in when it comes in. It's going to be the right time when it's the right time. And it's all about just trusting your excitement through that process, because that's what your excitement is guiding you to, is to that thing. But you know, where your excitement is in this moment might be on other things that are going to lead you, right? It's all stepping stones to that thing, that ultimate goal where you're headed. Just trust in your highest excitement in this moment and what feels good to do in a moment, on a moment to moment basis, rather than like, oh, well, I have to do this and I should finish it right now. Like, no, not how you work. Trust what's in your highest excitement and do that right now. And it will lead you to the thing. It will lead you to completion. If it's meant to be finished and completed, it will lead you to that. And it will probably happen quicker and better than you could have imagined if you tried to force yourself to do it prematurely, right? This is all about what it's like to be a manifesting generator, is to learn timing and trusting in that process, and not letting the impatience run the show. So let me see if there's any final messages for you, MGs. But that feels like a good wrap up for the month of October for you guys. Let's see, final messages for manifesting generators. Do we have any? Okay, yeah, we do. They're on the ground. Give me a sec. Death. Let old customs, let old things die. Old ways of being, old beliefs, people that no longer serve you, let them go. Oh, yep. Same card that came out for generators. Ten of Swords. End the cycle. Complete the cycle, whatever it is for you. Take it as it resonates. Complete the cycle, because there are new things coming in. Once you complete that and you have space for the new things, it will come in quicker and better than you could have ever imagined. So trust in that and let things go if they don't feel good. All right, that's October for you, Manny Gens. Much love. All right, who we got left? Projectors. Let's do, it's 555. Okay, let's do October card pull for projectors. What do we have for October for projectors in October? Oi. Ooh, okay. What do we have for projectors in October? Okay, that is like enough cards. Also the death card. Transformation. Doesn't mean literal death. Metaphorical death. Oh my gosh. It's so crazy how people are getting like, y'all are all getting kind of different cards, but they have like similar messages. All right, projectors. It feels like there's some emotional thing that you need to work through at the beginning of October that's going to help you gain more emotional maturity and emotional stability. Might feel a little bit unsettling or unstable or like chaotic at first, but it's going to move things forward in a way that's needed for you. And it's going to embark you on this new journey and this new beginning where things just will feel better and feel more in alignment for you. There will probably be more success because there will be more recognition and more invitations that are actually aligned for you, projectors. because it almost feels like the energy that you guys were in, or maybe are in right now, moving out of, are just kind of like emotionally draining things that are not super clear to you that that's what's causing it, but it is. Like, if you really like feel like you're not recognized and you're bitter, you're resentful, more often than you are successful, that's a sign that you're, sorry, I just touched the mic, that you need to move on from something, and that you need to check in with your authority, right? Whatever that is, and use that to guide you to whatever the next thing is that you want to do. If you listen to my recent podcast episode on projectors, you know that you're meant to use your authority more than your strategy. Strategy comes in for the bigger stuff. You don't use it as often as your authority. So trust in your authority for the smaller things, for just moving you in a new direction, right? And just gaining clarity around what that is, what that looks like. Like, what do you want to create? What do you want to design, projectors? What system do you want to work with to guide people? That is like your thing. That's why you're here. And if you feel like what you're doing and how you're doing it right now is draining you and leading to that bitter, resentful, just energy, maybe you're complaining a lot, or you're just feeling like not seen, not recognized, not understood, then you need to move on and like express your truth and what you want, because that's what's going to create it. That's what's going to bring it into you, right? And this will start the wheel turning into your next thing, into this new leap of faith that is required for you to take inspired action on using your authority. It feels like there was like a little bit of like, maybe like betrayal that you've healed from or been healing from, and you're moving on from that energy with this new beginning. It feels like this new beginning, whatever this new thing is that you're moving into, projector, it's like your happy ending is going to result from this leap of faith that is required for you to take in the month of October. And you're moving in a very balanced fashion. You're moving forward in not only a way that cultivates more joy and more success for you, but also that just like feels more balanced and feels more wholesome. It feels more supportive. It feels more nurturing. It feels like you're not overexerting yourself or your energy. And that is going to create so much just relief and change and transformation in your way of being, in your body, and how that manifests on the external as well, like in your environment and in your interactions, your relationships. So that's what it feels like for you, projectors. Let me see if there's any final messages for October. Feels like a lot of things are just moving forward. You're moving on from just not things that just didn't feel good. The World, yes, the World card came out. Like, look at this card. Like, y'all are growing your wings. You're realizing how much of your reality is created by you and your actions and what you're doing, and trusting your authority. And it's like, I feel like I could take on the world. Like, that song, Mount Everest ain't got shit on me. Like, that is like y'all's energy of October. It's like you're moving forward in a new way. And it's like empowering, and it's going to lead to your success and your happiness and your joy and your like wish fulfillment is what I'm feeling. So let me know how that resonates with you, projectors. Let me know what this is about. It's so cool. I'm excited for you all. Come back and let me know how October went. Much love, projectors. Happy October. All right. Last but surely not least in any way, reflectors. Let's get into your October. What we got for reflectors in October. Not the World. Y'all are also stepping into your power, growing your wings, maybe stepping into more and more surprise and delight over life versus disappointment. Oh, 10 of Cups. Y'all are learning what your happiness looks like. You're gaining more clarity around what you want to be doing, how you want to be contributing to your community, right? Because reflectors are here to contribute to communities. Y'all have such a unique way of looking at things and making corrections based on what you see as needed you really just see so clearly, similar to projectors in a different way, like what works and what doesn't, so that you can guide people to success. Okay. Similar cups that are similar cups, similar cards that came out for manifestors. Maybe you guys are working with a manifestor. I don't know how that would be. Manifestors and reflectors. I don't know how that relationship would be. Could be helpful, I feel like, because manifestors just want to like, oh, charge ahead. And reflectors are like, wait, if you just like shifted this a little bit, like it might be better. Yeah, reflectors, this is a really like just happy spread. It feels like you guys are really stepping into your power. It feels like you're really cultivating, again, like what your happy ending looks like. You're just learning how to stay firm and stay steadfast in your beliefs and your energy and the ways you're taking action and moving forward in your decision-making process. You're gaining just more confidence in your decision-making process and like what it's like to wait a lunar cycle. I feel you guys are moving on from things that really didn't serve you, that really didn't give back to you in the ways that you wanted to be given to. You're moving on from a lot of things that just like emotionally drained you, maybe, right, didn't feel good in your body. It was like, oh, this environment, this person doesn't feel good to be around. You're moving on from it. Whereas before there was kind of like this lack mentality of like, well, I have to stay in this because it's blah, 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 blah. You know, it's like, you're not doing that anymore. You're not making excuses. You're like fully in trust mode and surrender of like, I don't care what's going to happen. I'm going to let the universe surprise me and bring in what's meant for me. I can't take this anymore. That's what your guys' energy has starting off for in October. And it feels like once you move into the new thing, it's going to be like balanced, harmonious. There's an equal exchange. There's an equal give and take, right? There's an equal way that you're receiving money, that you're receiving support and guidance and nurturance too from whatever this is, in the ways that you've sought out maybe your whole life. I'm so excited for you, Reflector. Like, it feels like you all are really standing in your power. You are really like, you know what you want, and you are like willing to listen to your process to bring that in. Like, you're no longer trying to force things and trying to be everyone else. You've really learned how to stand in your own power, stand in your own identity, stand in your own shifting identity, stand in your own like ability to gain that clarity over time, right? And to not make your cycles and the things that affect you, the transits that affect you so vastly and differently mean anything about you or mean anything about your life. Like, you're really seeing it objectively. You're really seeing it from like this higher perspective, which is what you all are like here to do and what you're so naturally gifted at as a reflector. And it's like beautiful. Like, you guys are really standing in that power you have as your individuality and your differentiation as a reflector. It's so cool. And you're creating everything you've wanted from this. Like, the Magician came out and the Emperor. It's like not necessarily in your control. You know, there's a lot of major arcana in this reading. It's not necessarily in your control. It's not necessarily up to you to decide the timing. It's like the universe will show you, right? God will show you. Like, remain hopeful. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep that vision in mind. And you have everything you need to create whatever it is that you want. Like, it's all here for you. It's just about bringing awareness to that. Oh my gosh, half the deck just fell on the floor. I'm not going to pick that up right now. Maybe you guys need to meditate more too. Maybe you need to spend more time in introspection to get more clarity. Celebrate yourself in the strength that you've cultivated through your experiment, through your learning process. It's like, celebrate your victories, celebrate your failures, because it's all taught you something, especially if you're a 1-3 profile or have a third line in your profile at all. Like, you're here to create and build resilience through your trial and error process. And so celebrate that. It's literally your role on this earth is to try things out and to experiment. And it all plays a role in your role, in your purpose, in your development, and what you're moving into. It all adds up and it all plays a role. Again, meditation, I think, would be helpful for you guys to just gain more clarity and gain more peace, gain more awareness of your power, awareness of yourself and of your intuition. Clear out any of those thoughts or limiting beliefs that don't serve you and what you're moving into. Yoga might also be helpful for you all, is what I'm getting. Movement, excuse me, in some form or fashion. Something you need to practice more. So whatever way resonates with you. Try things out. Find what works. All right, that's what I have for you all. Reflectors, I'm sending you so much love for October. I hope you have an awesome month. Come back and let me know how it went for you. Would love to hear from you guys because you're like super rare, like unicorns. So let me know how this resonated with you. Let me know what you're looking forward to in October. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Much love and bye.